Okay, yeah, so I'm just testing out my video cam here. Yeah, I want to tell my story about being adopted. So, uh, yeah, so I was adopted at birth, and my mom and dad adopted us. I was a twin, and for 24 years of my life, uh, I did not know anything about my birth mother or my half sister. My twin brother died when I was 7, and I think what am I going to say here? Well, I finally got the courage when I was 24 years old to try to look for her online, and when I found an address for her, I wrote a letter, and then not long after that, sure enough, I got a letter from her, and she's been living where I was born, of course, and yeah, I have never ever spoken to her, and I had never seen her, never even seen a picture of her, and I knew nothing except a couple little specific things that my mom and dad told me about. But I always wanted to know where I was from, and I wanted to know my biological family, and yeah. After she wrote me a letter, a couple months later, I went and met her for the very, very first time. And it was really, really interesting experience. It's just something that I will never, ever, ever forget. I went by myself to meet her, and well, I know she was probably really nervous too, but I don't know. I wasn't really too nervous about it because I had gotten over my courage, which is kind of a big thing when you're adopted, to get the courage to even look for her. And of course, I always had like abandonment issues and everything, just like y'all talk about in your stories about adoption. And I agree with this one person that I saw on here on YouTube. I agree with everything he says about an adoptee and how they feel, because it is very, very true. But anyways, it is just like the most amazing, craziest experience I have ever been through. And I mean, I had never ever known what it was like to be hanging out with biological family. And see, the amazing part is that it was very easy to find her. Very easy. I mean, I just found the phone number online, or wrote a quick letter, and I got a letter back from her. And there she was. And she was just totally happy to see. I mean, she was just like totally shocked when she got my letter. And so I met her, and I met my half-sister, and I met my niece, and a little while later I met my biological grandmother on Thanksgiving and a Christmas Day. It was only for a real short period of time because she died a couple months later after I met her, just real briefly. And I also met 3 of my uncles and one aunt. And a couple days ago, I was just thinking, I was driving home this one night, a couple of nights ago, and I'm just like, I was thinking, this is totally crazy. I mean, why I hang out with them, and every single one of them, they're just like totally in love with me, and they're just like, it's almost like they totally adore me. And you know, it's like a really weird feeling to me because I think every single one of them is very, very special to me. And I mean, it's just absolutely amazing to have this really weird, I don't know, sense or something, because it's just, I mean, I think that people who have been around their biological family all their life, you know, it's just normal to them. But since I have never ever hung out with these people, I mean, they're my family. I'm biologically related to them. But it's like they're all freaking strangers. But at the same time, I feel like they're not strangers. Because it's totally weird, because I see myself in every single one of them. They're me, but they're in different bodies. And I mean, I am totally amazed to see how I'm so much like every single one of them. My 3 uncles, well, 2 of my uncles I hang out with, and then my birth mother and my half-sister and my niece, and then an aunt I've hung out with just a little tiny bit. But I don't know, man. I freaking love them from the very first time I ever met them. The very first time I ever laid eyes on them, I have loved them. And I freaking, I don't know why this is, but I totally, I adore all of them. Especially my 2 uncles and my sister and my niece. Yeah, and I thought to myself, yeah, why do they love me so much? I mean, when I first started thinking about looking for her, I couldn't really have any expectations whatsoever, because I did not have any idea what would come of it. But, you know, yeah, I mean, I just